Alright everybody, welcome back to the channel. So today we're going to make a holster out of Kydex for that new mold that I got, the Sig P365. Okay, so I got my mold out here. What you first got to do is you're going to cut your piece of Kydex that's going to go over your mold. So I got a measurement about roughly 7 3/4 across, and I believe that's about what I got for the, so it's about 7 3/4 both ways, square 7 3/4. So I got my Kydex already marked out here just to keep time going, but anyway, as you can see here, I got it 7 3/4 by 7 3/4. Now I'm going to score the Kydex with a blade. Okay, so you're going to score your Kydex. Okay, so this is going to be, I'm going to have to make sure I get this lined up and get this pretty close. Okay, so you got your Kydex measured out, now you score it. I go over it a few times. First couple times lightly, then after that I go a little bit harder, give a little more pressure. This way, when I go to snap it, it snaps fairly easy. Okay, now that I got that scored, then all you do is you just snap it like that. Go ahead and get your second line cut out. Get that lined up. Do apologize if you hear some noise over there. I got my balcony door open and the wind's blowing, as you can tell, so that's going to make a little bit of noise. But anyway, such a nice day. Okay, let's go ahead and score your Kydex. Go ahead and bend it. Alright, looks like I got a little off there, but that's alright. It's going to be enough to cover. So I got the Kydex already cut. Sure it's going to fit. Yep, it's got enough to hang over a little bit, because that's what you want. You want it just slightly bigger than your mold. Okay, looking pretty good. Next step is going to be heating your Kydex up. As I explained, there's a couple of ways you can heat your Kydex up. You can use a toaster oven, a heat press, even your oven. Although I don't suggest doing the oven, because like I said in a previous video, your girlfriend or wife, she might get pissed off at you. But anyway, you heat it up in the oven. The temperature varies depending on where you're at, and climate and whatnot. But you heat it up for roughly a minute and a half or whatever. Then you're gonna have it. What I'm gonna do is I'll set it up prior, and then rather than wait for it to all heat up and waste time, I'll heat up my heat press. I'll bring over my vacuum press while that's heating up, and I'll set, so when we come back you'll see my vacuum press set up on the table with the mold ready on it. So this way, once the Kydex is heated to the temperature, to the desired temperature, then I'm going to come back, throw my Kydex over there, shut it real quick, and throw the vacuum form on, because you don't have too much time. It cools down rather quickly, so you got to move rather fast. I might not do too much talking, only because the heat press and the vacuum press, mainly the vacuum press, is going to make a little bit of noise. So that's why I'm telling you ahead of time, okay? So when we come back, we'll be over at the heat press. Alright guys, so we're at the heat press here getting ready. It's almost hot enough. Right now it's at 317. We got a little bit more to go. So while I'm waiting for that, I'm going to explain what's going on. So I'm going to take my Kydex, okay, I'm going to place it on my press. Make sure that's cleaned off. I'm going to place it on my press like so. And then once that temperature gets right, I'm going to put the arm down, let it heat up, and then we are going to rush right over to the vacuum press. I'm going to turn that on and form it real quick, so you're not going to hear me talk, because once I turn that vacuum press on, you're not going to hear me. Okay, so this is going to be rather quick, so I'm going to spare some time here, and we're going to meet over at the press. Alright guys, we got less than 5 seconds. Once this comes out, I'm going to rush over there and put the vacuum press on.
So at this point, I didn't think you'd be able to hear me once I turned on the vacuum press, but obviously you can.
Alright, now I'm making sure I get around all the edges so it gets a good form right in the sight channel, trigger guard, and barrel. Okay, so I'm going to leave this on here, let it cool down. It's about 167. It's already cooled down some. So once it gets below 100, I'm going to take it off. So in the meantime, we'll wait. Alright, let's take a temperature reading. It says it's about 115, just a little bit more to go. Alright. Yeah. It's only 112, still got a little bit longer to go. See if we cool it down a little bit quicker here. Got a damp sponge. Alright, just wipe it dry, make sure it's nice and dry. Alright. That helps cool it down some. Let's see what we got. Okay, so it's under 100 degrees. Alright, I'm going to turn my vacuum off. Alright, she looks pretty good. Alright, release the pressure. Here we go. Alright. So far, looks like we got a pretty good definition. Over here I got for the belt clip. Pull this off. Get the belt clip out. Get something to pull that belt clip out with. You gotta excuse the clutter here. I'm working on borrowed space here. Anyway. Get the belt clip out. Put that aside. Alright. Looks like very good definition here, guys. Alright, next step, we're going to take it over to my skill saw, and I'm going to cut down the excess that we don't need, which will be along here. I'm going to make a sweat guard covering the whole back side, curve it down here, come across our clip here, bring it down over the trigger guard, just come straight out. Alright, meet you over at the skill saw. Alright, before we go to the skill saw, I'm going to mark out my lines, my guidelines of what I'm going to cut off here. So over here where we got our belt clip, we're going to cut across here, curve up, come across the back end here for a sweat guard on the back end for your appendix carry, come along here and down, then across the barrel. Okay, so let's see if I get this side done first. I'll do the barrel. Just going to eye this up. I'm going to come up a little bit. Hold on. That's looking pretty good there. Alright. See if I get this to come down straight. So over here, we're going to make sure we're going to come right down across here to meet the trigger guard. Okay, now we're going to go up and up here. So we're going around the back end here, give you full sweat guard on this. Then I'm going to come across the sight, and over here we're going to gradually go up. Okay, something like that. Okay, now over here, come across here. All the way down to the trigger guard. Then we're going to come across. Alright, so right here, it's going to ride up a little bit on this curve going up the trigger guard, but that's what we want, because we want some of the, when you look at the bottom, you want some of that trigger guard to be exposed. So we got this pretty straight. If it doesn't move, let me see how good I get this. Alright, I think I'm looking good. Let's see, I might have to come down a little bit. Let's see how much room I got there. And looks like it's a little bit over 1 inch. And it's not going to matter too much at this point. Yeah, this is a little bit wider. I might just come down a little bit here. But anyway, once we get this cut out, it's still going to be sanded down so the edges come even. You don't have to be exact, but the closest you can be